Welcome to a world of Airbnb. What was once a simple way to book a home away from home has in some cases turned into something far darker, far more sinister. You think you found the perfect place for your peaceful getaway? Somewhere cozy and secluded, maybe even a little off the beaten path. But sometimes, the house isn't what it seems. Sometimes something is lurking just beneath the surface, waiting to be discovered. In today's video, we dive into terrifying Airbnb experiences that will make you question everything about the places you stay. Trust me, you won't look at your next vacation rental the same way again. Imagine booking a quiet weekend at a remote cabin in the woods. Secluded, peaceful, the perfect retreat from the chaos of life. But when you arrive, your host greets you with a strange smile and mentions the guest book, an odd yet welcoming touch. You skim through the pages until one entry grabs your attention. If you're reading this, they know you're here. Leave before it's too late. The air grows thick with unease. At first, you convince yourself it's just a prank, but then you start hearing footsteps coming from behind you. But when you check, no one is there. Then you notice it. Your belongings moved, ever so slightly, but definitely noticeable. The book you were reading was open on the table, as though someone else had been reading it. The sound of the footsteps keep getting closer until you realize you're not alone. What do you do? Confront the host or run? Or perhaps it's already too late. Next, picture this. A luxury loft in the heart of the city. It's everything you've ever wanted. Spacious, artfully designed, and filled with the old world charm. You're in awe of the place. But there's one odd thing. No mirrors. When you ask the host why, they simply reply with, "It's part of the charm." At first you think nothing of it, but later that night when you were settling in, you catch a glimpse of yourself, not in a mirror, but in the reflection of the window. Only, it's not quite you. You blink, and the figure in the reflection is standing too still, too perfectly. You reach out and it moves with you, but when you look back, the reflection is gone. The house seems colder now, and you have the feeling as if someone is watching you. And that's when you hear the whisper, "Leave." Is it all in your head, or is something truly off with this place? This next Airbnb seems perfect for anyone who appreciates history. An old Victorian house, beautifully restored, complete with original furniture and stunning vintage decor. But there's a catch, a room in the attic that's always locked. The host insists it's for safety reasons. Late one night, you hear faint music drifting from above, the sound of a piano playing all on its own. Intrigued, you search for the key and unlock the attic door. Inside, it's pristine, everything covered in sheets, except for the piano. The keys move gently, as if being played by invisible hands. As you snap a photo of the eerie scene, you notice something horrifying. The wallpaper in the room is different. There's a face emerging from the floral pattern. Suddenly, you realize the room has changed, and you're not the only one in it. Is the house haunted, or are you being lured into something far darker? Sometimes you think you found the perfect getaway, far from the hustle and bustle of everyday life, but when you arrive, the host seems overly eager. She's been waiting for you. She insists on showing you around, then offers you tea. As the night unfolds, you begin to feel something isn't quite right. You hear noises in the woods, whispers, faint footsteps, yet when you check, no one is there. And then she says it. The last guest never left. You laugh it off, but the air feels thick now. You're starting to think something or someone might be out there. The host starts asking if you'd help her find someone who went missing nearby, someone who stayed in the very same cabin. You realize she's not just waiting for you to relax, she's waiting for you to become the next guest to disappear. What would you do? Try to run? Or is there no escape from this chilling nightmare? You've booked a quiet house in a sleepy village. Everything seems fine until two hosts greet you. not just one, but two identical versions of the same person. Each one insists that they are the true owner of the house. But one strange thing, they don't recognize each other, and either of them know why the other is there. But every time you look away, the other host disappears, only to later return. The house seems to shift too. Rooms change and furniture moves. You try to leave, but every time you check the front door, it's locked. The hosts keep circling you as if they're part of some twisted game, and you are the unwitting player. But the question is, which host is the real one? And if there is one, who or what are the others? Are you going mad? Or is something far darker controlling your every move? You arrive at your Airbnb, a charming cottage nestled on the edge of a small coastal town. The host is warm and welcoming, giving you a tour of the place before leaving you to settle in. Everything is perfect until you notice something strange. There's a door in the back of the house, which the host said is locked and off limits. Later that night, you hear soft tapping from behind it, like someone is trying to get out. You tell yourself it's just the house settling, but the tapping persists, growing louder and more insistent. You try to ignore it, but as the night drags on, the sounds grow more frantic. Suddenly, the door creaks open by itself. Inside, the room is empty, except for a single chair that's been overturned. The air is thick with the scent of old, stale perfume, and a shiver runs down your spine. You quickly lock the door and leave, but when you return the next morning, the host is already waiting for you, with a knowing look on their face. Did you meet her, they ask? You freeze. You weren't supposed to meet anyone, not yet. You've rented a beautiful apartment in a historic part of the city, modern, yet with a strange antique vibe. But soon after settling in, you start to notice something peculiar. The walls aren't quite right. It starts small, a door that didn't used to be there, a window in the bathroom that wasn't on the floor plan. Then one night, you wake up to find the furniture rearranged, the hallway longer than it was before. The room you were in isn't the same anymore, but it's too dark to make sense of it. You reach out to the host, who responds casually. It's normal. The house likes to change sometimes. You assume it's a joke until you discover an old journal under the couch, filled with entries about other guests who got lost. The walls begin to close in and the space tightens, and you realize there's no way out. Not unless the house decides to let you. You book a seemingly lovely apartment in the city. A small but cozy space with vintage furnishings and soft lighting. The host is incredibly accommodating, showing you around and even providing a spare key in the case you lose yours. Everything seems normal until the first night. You wake up in the dark with the air feeling heavy, and you hear a faint rustling from the closet. When you check, you find it empty, but the sound doesn't stop. The next night, it happens again, the rustling followed by the unmistakable sound of breathing. This time you open the closet fully, nothing is there. But you swear you saw someone's shadow move behind the door. Terrified, you ask the host if the apartment is haunted, but they just smile and assure you there's nothing to worry about. Still, the noises continue, and each time you open the closet, something feels more off. On your last night as you prepare to leave, you find something new, a note in the closet, and it simply reads, "I'm still here." The closet door slams shut, and you realize it's not you who's been the guest. You book a charming rural farmhouse for the weekend, surrounded by rolling fields and wildflowers. The host is a quiet older man who shows you around the property and leaves you to relax. But there's just something about the house. There's a room upstairs that's completely empty. The floors are bare, the walls stripped of any decorations, and the windows are blocked with thick curtains. You can't help but feel drawn to it. But every time you get close, something pulls you back. One night you hear soft crying coming from the room. You cautiously approach the door and slowly turn the handle. Inside, there's nothing. Just a single wooden rocking chair that's gently swaying back and forth. You check the rest of the house, but when you return, the crying starts again. This time, you find a collection of old photographs scattered across the floor, each one of a different guest who stayed in the house before you. All of them are staring back at you with hollow eyes. The chair stops rocking, and then the door slams shut. You book a quiet upscale apartment in a modern high-rise building. Everything seems perfect, and you feel lucky to have found such a nice place at a great price. However, strange things begin to happen almost immediately. It starts with faint whispers in the walls. At first, you think it's just the building settling or distant neighbors. But as the days go on, the whispers become louder and clearer, so much so that you hear your name being called from the other side of the walls. You try to ignore it until one night, you wake up to find the walls in your bedroom humming with energy. The whispers now sound like commands, begging you to open the door to the next apartment. When you do, the door swings open, but no one is there. Instead, you find a message on the wall, drawn in what looks like blood. Leave now before they come for you. You rush to call the host, but they're unreachable. When you look out the window, you realize the building isn't the same. It's no longer in the city. It's surrounded by nothing but dark, endless woods. You're trapped, and the whispers are getting closer. These Airbnb experiences were once just an innocent vacation, but each turned into something far darker than anyone could have imagined. Whether it's the subtle shift of reality or the terrifying presence of something watching you, these experiences remind us of one simple truth. Not every place you stay is safe. So next time you book an Airbnb, ask yourself, is this place truly what it seems? Or are you walking into a nightmare waiting to unfold? What would you do if you were in these situations? Let me know in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe for more spine-chilling stories like these.